Nope. How's it going, everyone? It is Friday, and we are looking at another weekend, a 3-day weekend for many of you. I'd like to tell you guys, tomorrow we will be having a special episode of The Honest Experience. So I hope you guys will come and watch. And for those that have been viewing, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, I really thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it's people like you that are going to help this little community to grow. So please continue to share me. And if you haven't, go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. And if you've done that, go and grab somebody, take them to my channel and get them to subscribe, and make sure both of you guys are getting all the notifications so you can stay up to date. Well, what has been dominating the news the past 24 hours? That would be the new Texas abortion law, protecting the unborn, the heartbeat bill. Many liberals are upset. Many conservatives are happy, rejuvenated, and ready to look into the future. Now, if you've been watching my videos for the last month and a couple weeks, you will know that pretty much I'm a guy that sticks to myself. I'm branching out now with these videos, but I'm more of like an introverter. Quite shy if I don't know you. I mostly like to think in my head and stuff. So I don't discuss a lot of things until now with you guys. So thank you. But some of the people that truly know me know that there are some issues that are near and dear, or that will touch me, or whatever that have you. To give a little backstory, I was 19, 20 years old, maybe not in today's age, but back then that was quite young. I had a child of my own, and I was young and scared like many people. And I was faced with a decision, I'll say allowing. I disagree how this has looked with a lot of people. I'll get into that in a minute, but I was allowed by the mother, the choice to keep it or to abort it. And I was scared. I was not happy. But I do not believe in an abortion. I made a mistake. Not a mistake, but I'm the one that made the mistake. I'm the one that needed to step up to the plate. And it was quite an adjustment, but I did it. Never let eyes, never left, never did anything but take care of my own. But I believe there are very few circumstances why somebody gets an abortion. And that's an iffy there on that statement too. And some of that, if you watched my previous video, I don't have to ever face some of those decisions. And partly thank you, Jesus. And thank you for the strong women that do that carry the baby for 9 months. When I talk about this, you never know who will pop in, so I guess I will have to say it, but I am never referring or talking about medical issues. I am not a doctor. I do not have a PhD. I have my own opinions, my own thoughts, but on something like that, that is not my right. And I personally, if there was an actual real reason, I would never judge, because I would never be able to be put in that position, because like I said, I'm a male. I can't have a baby. It's just not going to happen. So to act like, and this is for me, myself, I'm not telling you guys how to look at it, but to act like I can sit there and look at a woman who's facing death or abortion, I don't know. I said yesterday, I hope if I was to ever be in a position like that, I would be strong enough to choose the life of the baby. But I never have to be put in that position. But the abortion topic is it's very near and dear to me. I don't understand it. I don't understand how 1 minute science is the all key. The next minute they'll use science, but it really doesn't line up with science. And then the next minute, science has nothing to do with the conversation. We could sit here and talk about how science will take these little microscopic, whatever you want to call them, and say it's proof of life on Mars, proof of life out there. I mean, proof wherever they've got it from, different places. But a living, breathing thing that is going to turn into one of us, that is growing a heart, that is growing a brain, that is growing a conscience. It has a purpose. It will, more than average time, will be produced into what it's supposed to be, if all that makes sense, meaning that unless if there are these rare occasions you're going to have a baby, there are circumstances out there where miscarriages and things like that happen, but that's not the norm. So I don't get it, and that is the topic of today. But today I've just been hearing left and right. The left is just, they don't want to focus on anything else. And I'm jumping. I wrote down things I've been hearing all day and stuff. I don't want to be a repeat, but I don't understand it. Over the past 24 hours, like I said, the Texas abortion law has been dominating the news. Not this horrible withdrawal, not Biden's dropping in polls. In a matter of weeks, 62% of the country now thinks Biden should step down, according to the Rasmussen's poll, on the name. No one's talking about Biden's secret phone call with the Afghanistan president. And I spoke about this yesterday when we were talking about hitting up on the Texas abortion law, that it's quite telling how people are reacting over this Biden phone call, which is an outright lie, was trying to push a narrative for his own benefit, enriching him. It's what we grown to know about Biden and this administration and liberals. Only look out for themselves. Psaki not wanting to talk about it, but in 2019 called for Trump's phone call to be released while all the left called for Trump's impeachment. She cared a lot about this phone call. She was out there sending out tweets. She was right there saying we need the transcripts. I bet you it would be more telling. She just couldn't let it go. And that I'm sure you could find a leftist that didn't say it. People that, but even probably around your little circles of those leftists, they were all calling for Trump impeachment over several phone calls, and none of the phone calls were like these, like this phone call where Biden. For those that don't know, you can go watch my video from yesterday. But Biden in July of this year, just a few months ago, called the president of Afghanistan and basically pleaded and begged with him to make a statement to go out and lie that they got the Taliban under control. And it's just weird that it's weird if you look at everything that, and I've been painting that picture this whole time, and I have been saying the same thing, but in about 8 months, look at how everything has collapsed so quick. Look at all the lies. And, he wants to sit here and make these phone calls secretly and portray that the Taliban are taken care of, but remind you, the Taliban reached out and said that they would stay away from the capital of Afghanistan, Kabul, and let the U.S. forces secure it and let them evacuate. Okay? So, why would you need to call up the Afghanistan president and lie when you didn't even care to secure Kabul? You had a chance to, not only because we got the best military in the world with the best people, shining stars, no joke, doing things that I could never even dream of, let alone do. My fat ass ain't running nowhere. 37, one step, breathing hard. Ain't no way. Put me out there. Guess it's time for me to die. Not that I'd be giving up. I'm smart enough. I joke. It's kind of true. I would fight. I'm a proud American. Don't want that to get distorted. But this is the left. They fold. They lie. They manipulate to get themselves out of the trouble. Do you see it now? For those that haven't been seen, and I know a lot of you have. I mean, the best thing you can say is that they're hypocrites. And that isn't good. But I got many more things that I could say that I won't about them. I don't need my channel getting taken down or another strike or putting down. I am just trying to get back to normalcy on this week. So I'm going to show you more of what the left thinks that they're going to be able to do, how they think that they can control everything, and it's amazing how they think that they know better for you. So Nancy Pelosi wants to trample over state rights. She's wanting to put up a bill to make states follow Roe versus Wade. I bet she would be upset if conservatives started going in. Let's say conservatives have the House and the Senate and the presidency. If the conservatives started going after these states that legalized marijuana, it's still illegal according to federal. They would have every right to go after these states, but I bet you she wouldn't agree with that. I bet you she wouldn't agree with trampling over states' rights. She would be sitting there saying, this is a state right. This is what the state wanted. Okay, let's go further. What about places like New York or Chicago with gun-free zones? It's in our freaking Constitution. They are taking your Constitution away. That far is greater than what a Supreme Court ruling is. That's in our Constitution. What if we took back the House and the Senate and had the presidency, and we threatened to go after Chicago and New York and other places like LA and all these scum buckets that do everything anti-American, anti-constitutional, and we make it federal law to follow the Second Amendment? We should, because it is already law. Yeah, and it's constitutional. Constitutional outweighs any judge's law. What about if conservatives started reacting and rising up and taking away same-sex marriage? Supreme Court ruled and allowed same-sex marriage, but to be honest, they overstepped their ruling. Judges are not allowed to make new laws. That's what Congress is for. Their job is to rule on existing law. And they did not do that. I remind you, back in the 90s, Bill Clinton, Congress made a law backing traditional marriage. Technically, until same-sex marriage goes through Congress, it was overstep. It was an overreach. I bet you that if all these states that started doing it and started pushing it and doing it, first California, I believe, was the first one, followed by New York. I could be wrong, but I think so. What about get me in office? I'll be Speaker of the House and I'll introduce some bills. But I bet you she wouldn't like that. She would say it's trampling on state laws, trampling over the state's constitutional rights. And here she's wanting to do it and be a hypocrite. That's what leftists do. Psaki, snapping back to a reporter from the Catholic channel EWTN, this reporter asking, why does the president support abortion when his own Catholic faith teaches abortion is morally wrong? Now, before I go into the rest of that, Biden is not a Catholic. Biden is no means a Christian. Most of these people are not. You cannot, and I said this before, and hey, pisses you off, it pisses you off. But the truth is the truth. You cannot be a Christian and be a Democrat or a leftist. You cannot. Well, how can you say that, honest? Well, because I'm being honest. The Democrat Party represents abortion. The Democrat Party represents taking away from everybody and giving it to the non-working, the non-willing. The Bible's very clear about killing and murdering, especially children, and what the Bible thinks of children. The Bible's very clear. You feed a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime. There is charity in the Christian faith. But the faith talks about it as Christians, you should want to, not to be forced. Also, there talks about in the Bible and throughout the Christian faith, there is a difference between being charitable and sorry, there's probably a better word for it, but smothering and taking care, babying somebody. And the Bible also talks about, now this is split, the Bible talks about obeying God's law first and obeying man's law, unless a man law trumps God's law. We're starting to get where man's laws think they can trump God's laws. We're not talking about that. But laws against murder, you are murdering a baby. You are killing a baby. It doesn't matter if you want to act like it's not. It is. Cannot be a Democrat supporting pedos. You voted for Joe Biden, but you're going to say you're a Catholic or a Christian. This party has a rampant disease full of harassing people. As a Christian, you don't support people like Antifa or BLM. As a Christian, you support all lives. You cannot be a Christian and be a Democrat. You can be whatever you want, and you can rip off the Christian faith and, have your stances here and there, but you cannot call it a Christian faith because you're not following it. There are Christians out there that say they're Christians when they're not. And at first I wasn't talking about that. I wasn't talking about just normal people that, raised up Christian, they know better, but they don't live it. But Democrats, that runs everywhere. But Democrats, that is what you do. You claim to be it, but then you don't back it up on anything. It's not just that you vote. You will outright defend these. Well, abortion is not a religious right. It's a woman's right. No, you don't trump God's law. You idiot. And if you don't believe in God or you don't believe in the Christian faith, then obviously none of what I had to say has to do with you. So why get riled up? It's because you're a liberal and you want to take up and you heard he's talking about liberals. Psaki snapping back. So the reporter asked, why does the president support abortion when his own Catholic faith teaches abortion is morally wrong? Psaki snapping back. Biden, believes it's a woman's right. It's a woman's body and it's her choice. But we know that's not true. It involves at least two. I say at least two because what about the man that is involved? We talk about all these things about accepting people. And we lie and say some of these things. It's not that they were, born this way or anything. You just got to accept it. They can't help it. So accept it. Well, a man wasn't born to be able to give birth. A man cannot help that he can not give birth. It doesn't matter if we want to or not. None of that is up for discussion till naturally. I'm not into science finding a way. That doesn't matter to me. That excludes, that doesn't mean nothing. So for all those people that talk about science is working on a way, I don't get down like that. So you can take that shit back. A man cannot help getting pregnant. So if he's wanting to be there, if he's stepping up, why doesn't he get a say in there? It's not his fault that it's the woman's, just the woman's body, which it's not. It's not. It's not his fault though. And then if it's just the woman's body, why do abortion doctors have to rip out legs one by one, then arms, and then the torso and the head? However, that might not be, it might be the head, then the leg, whatever. The point of it is, it's gross, it's nasty. And you guys want to defend it all and act like, you make up these asinine excuses like they're logical, like it makes sense that it's the woman's body. That's why. That's what we're going to tell the buck to, damn. It's the woman's body. You get all hype, you go and tell everybody that, but it's not. You're not just affecting the woman's body. You're affecting the men that don't want it, and you're affecting the baby that's inside you. And then the rest of the press conference, she refused to take questions from that reporter. This is the left. This is what they do. It's hypocrite. They lie. They manipulate. They call you names. They'll do whatever they can to stay in power. They do whatever they can to humiliate you, those that oppose them, and those that are right there with them. Those people that are sheets following them, they're just too stupid to realize. There's a lot of talk which I you kind of figured nothing is ever truthfully over. But a lot of talk that this is far from over. The Texas bill, you have Democrats wanting to trample over the Constitution in every way. They're wanting to trample over state rights to get their way. You have them humiliating other people live on TV. We got to take them out of office. We got to get them out right now, today. And we got to start doing that by calling every office, every government office, even if it doesn't make sense. You blow them up with phone calls, text messages, and emails, and you don't stop. You go out there and protest. You do what Maxine Waters, but in a better way. You surround them and you let them eat. We won't be like that. But if they're out there walking, we'll give them a little taste of what they've been doing to us. Maybe if we give them a little taste, you know what? Screw it. Give them a little taste. Because maybe if you give them a little taste, they'd stop doing that crap. Knock that freaking cheeseburger right out of her fat ass. Bam! You can't have that. Well, another great show. I hope you like it. And if you did, you know what you can do. And you know what time it is. If you liked what you saw, or if you liked what you heard, or maybe you just want to help me grow, you can like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, and share me. People like you that I depend on, that's helping us grow. Thank you very much. You guys have a wonderful day. And I'll see you tomorrow for our special. We'll see how that goes. God bless.
Nope.